This is not a test. Don't expect to be impressed. Put on your life vest. Sit down your armrest. It's time to stray from the grind. Don't take my hand, 'cause you'll find no peace of mind. Side quest.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Interlude, the episodes we do when we're not doing the episodes we do for which the podcast is named. And yes, I'm bringing back the convoluted intro from Side Quest because I'm here, as is Emily Kaplan, Rick Gualteri, MK Gibson, and Steve Weatherall. Y'all want to say hi?
Hello.
All right, these are a little bit loosey-goosier, so I'll just ask, anybody have anything they want to plug?
Your mom.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, Bevan's not here. Who's going to say your mum? Well done, Rick. Thank you. Jesus. That was
He
a
is
close
the
one.
backup Bevan in many ways. Gibby, I heard an I do from you. So
Yes, I do. My latest book in the Shadowmaster series, Villains Academy, Shadowmaster Book 6, is out on ebook and on paperback. Audio is to be recorded in, I want to say 20 April, approximately, maybe May. I got to go back and look what the narrator said, but definitely late April is when the recording starts, and he's pretty good. So he knocked out in a couple of days. I ever so briefly, had a #1 slot in parodies. I was the #1 ebook of ebook parodies for like an hour, and it was great. I took a screenshot, so I got my little #1 or like best whatever, and then it's done. Then it's dropped down to the top 10 or top 20. But you know what? I had it for a hot second, so I'm happy about that.
It counts.
Goddamn right it does.
He's
I took
got
a
the
picture.
and everything.
Yes.
If we're plugging stuff, we're finally close enough that I'll start plugging this one. Chilling Reflections audiobook coming June 24th. Villains Code number 3.
That's plenty of notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
No excuses to miss that.
While we're plugging audiobooks, I have the audiobook of Boar War, which I believe is coming out on March 25th, and the audiobook of Time Chaser, which I am currently proofing and will come out as soon as I'm done proofing it.
You know, when Gibby said he was top of like parody ebooks, for a moment now I thought he just wrote a parody of an ebook, like just 100,000 words of 101100.
There was a hot second I was above like go the fuck to sleep. I'm like, take that, go the fuck to sleep. So
We got something in the chat here from Quasi Evil Boohoo audiobooks. Or do audiobooks make you cry or something?
All right, and with that, we will progress past the intro right into the meat of the episode. We're doing an questions episode. Are we calling this an interlude? You can cut around this part.
Interlude, side quest, it doesn't matter. The point is they get to hang out with us today, and that's
all right. Yeah, we're calling
that's all
this
they
an
need.
insert Steve's voice here. Right now, we're taking your questions, and by your questions, I mean mostly the questions of the Patreons who are here with us in the chat, but we've also got some from the Patreons who are part of the Discord. I feel like the real message here is that if you want your questions to be answered next time we do one of these, where should folks go, Gibby?
they should probably go to patreon.com/authorsandragons, where they can support us at a variety of tiers. $2, just $2 gets you into our Discord access, meet hundreds of friends, meet us authors, talk shit. And then if you want to do $5 or more, you get even more access to things, you get all the voice channels, you get all the other things that we do. Go on to patreon.com/authorsandragons, check out all our options. Some of the people actually pay a little bit higher than that, and they get free merch starting after three monthly payments. They get extra t-shirts, all kind of merch sent their way. Though we're trying to give back to what you give to us. So thank you all to all our supporters.
I'll throw in one of those tiers is ad-free episodes, which is a big one for me when I'm looking for stuff.
Maybe I want the ads. Maybe I want my purple mattress. I don't know what they sell.
That's why I said it's one of the tiers.
Okay.
And of course, another one is the ability to be here along with us as we do the games. Not just this question game. These folks are with us for the actual games. They are here for the behind-the-scenes stuff you all think you want, but if you really do, it's time to find out. All right, and with all that shilling out of the way, hopefully whoever is running this has picked up their questions.
Let me add one more shill.
By all means.
Those of you doing the ad-free episodes, we have a new feature We haven't tested it out yet, so I have no idea if it works. So apologies if it doesn't. But you should be able to get your ad-free episodes that you normally would get off our Patreon off of Spotify now. You'll have to log in to Spotify, I guess, with your Patreon account. I'm not really sure how that happens, but they
Probably the
will
same
be
email.
available there.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah. Well, if you hit any problems, remember to email Rick directly.
100%.
Rick
We'll give you his home
questions,
number if you
not
need it.
Authors and Dragons questions. I want
Yes.
to be very clear on that.
Oh, there was one thing. If you are one of the higher tiers and you have an up-to-date listening device, you can actually lick your headphones and taste Authors and Dragons.
What would we taste like?
I got to say, like something that's been in someone's ear for about 3
exactly.
weeks.
A little bit of desperation, a little salt,
A lot of beer, maybe some
I
cigarettes.
think that needs to be on a T-shirt. What would we taste like?
Oh God.
What does our
All
sound
right.
taste like? What does our sound taste like? That's a tagline.
And
That's right
rather
there.
than answer those questions, I'm going to throw it over to Gibby, who has been corralling questions from the listeners that we are now
I
obligated to
have
answer.
been. All right. So I like the first question that I saw pop up was from Queen Crush. When these characters die because Gibby is finally breaks and is done with your shit, what backup character ideas do you all have?
We got to be careful about this. Last time someone gave this question, we invented Jaws the Sorcerer.
God. Oh,
Luckily,
no.
Bob's not here.
So I've got one. I was sort of wavering between two options when I was building Kabir. One was super combat focused, and then there's Kabir who is basically not combat focused. He's utility focused.
Mhm.
And I went with Kabir because it seemed like a funnier option, and I've never really done a utility focused character on here before. But if he dies and I need a quick backup, I'll probably go with, I don't have a name for them, but their concept name is Drone Warfare.
Okay.
Which is basically going to be a pixie with the spell sniper feat, and either a sorcerer or a warlock. But basically, the pixie is going to be flying like 1,000 feet in the air, and then every time we encounter a problem, it's just going to get speared with eldritch blasts.
Yeah,
from so high up that nothing can hit it.
That's pretty good. I played this one campaign where the DM basically just got sick of that shit because someone would do exactly that. Because they had the spell sniper and they also had the eldritch feat where it basically doubles out. So you had 600 feet of eldritch blast. So
Yeah, so he'll just be like a goggle-wearing, violence-loving murder machine.
I just like those old World War II, like the biplane leather helmet with the goggle kind of things. So yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
very Red Baron-esque.
I have a couple of older characters that
That's a
are
bunch of goddamn older. They want new character. No, what you got? I'm
They're-
being a dick. I'm sorry.
they're both gnomes and they're both clerics. One of them is I'd resurrect from my EverQuest days back in the 1990s, and her name was Tesber, and I still occasionally accidentally call like my dog or my kid Tesber when I'm really tired. But her last name was Reynolds, like Tesbert Reynolds, Tesbert Reynolds.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you equate your children and your dog. I probably on the same level of love with a character you built in EQ. So when you're speaking of something you love, your kids and your dog go secondary to your first love, which was EverQuest.
Yeah, I also call them house demons. So there's that.
Sometimes I refer to my son as the spawn of my balls. So
Oh God.
Well, it's accurate, I guess.
he's 13. He's like, well, my first home was your testicles. I said, thank you. I appreciate that you like. So we have a good relationship, my son and I. So
Yeah, forget your mum who carried you for 9 months.
hey, listen,
you were in
no,
my
no, 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 no.
testicles
No
for
one-
at
you
least
don't-
5 minutes.
When you have a delicious cake, you don't thank the oven. You thank the chef that whipped up the batter. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, God. Anyway, happy birthday, son.
You don't thank your oven? No wonder your cakes suck.
I was going to say that's another nickname right there, crotch batter.
Lovely.
God damn it. What about you, Steve? What's your backup character in case like the Dicey leader dies and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm done with your crap.
I am already very exhausted trying to fulfill a non-combat leadership role. Diplomacy is apparently none of our strong suits. I think I'm just going to go for a fucking dwarf, just like a dwarf squared.
Yeah.
Just like ultimate fighter, nothing no kind of personality ranks at all. The personality will just be dwarf. Alternatively, I want to go as a tabaxi, but it's not really a tabaxi. It's just a chubby middle-aged man in a cat suit who says he's a tabaxi.
So if I like if that, in that situation where you guys build all these extra like shooters, these drones and fighters, and I just put you all in nothing but like diplomacy settings, as just everything turns everything into a fight. I'm assuming.
I mean,
Probably.
as a guy who has had a group of players roll entirely barbarians, I'm going to tell you, Gibby, every problem can become a violence
Yeah.
problem.
Oh, here's the thing. On paper, I love that. It's like, quick, go into the library, destroy the books. You know, yeah.
Honestly, that would probably be a pretty fun game for us to play one day.
It kind of would be.
Barbarians.
Just embrace the murder hobo aspect of it. So,
It's just like every problem is an axe problem.
Yeah. I don't know if you just like being
Lock
paying
picking
attention
axe, diplomacy
life.
axe.
It's kind of like, oh no, it's a situation with cunning diplomacy. It's like, what will the physically superior violent force possibly do? They're being out diplomatized by this smart talking. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Same thing that's happened throughout the entirety of human history.
Yeah, that party rolls into town and town rolls the fuck away.
or just rolls over.
Yeah.
So great. Time to release my really cunning bardic poet against this horde of savages. Yeah. Say goodbye to your town.
Like the Dread Lich Lord comes down with his like he's all smarmy and English for whatever reason, and trying to like talk to, and then like nope, we just fight. That's just
probably get their ass kicked by magic user, but by God, it'll be fun until then.
Well, see, I also like the idea. Like maybe we learned a lesson. Maybe we need to multi-class. No, just punch harder. Like a good Superman or anime, we learned just punch harder.
That's when we have prestige class at level 6, and it's like everybody doubles down.
So I'm either going to go, like I say, dwarf squared, who can just be slotted into that situation, or a character that nobody actually wants to touch. And that's my that's how.
So
I'm getting.
Jorcerer?
Yeah, but imagine Jorcerer, but he's in that like Super Mario cat suit. That's
just
my
like
character basis.
Just like a furry / Zentai suit of just, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not even sure if I'm going to give him a class or any abilities. That's just.
So he's like Pulp Fiction Gimp who's just there watching, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Rick? Did you have a backup character? A backup to your backup?
Yeah, I had this character concept I was thinking of when I was making Moog of basically this character who's like a 5th or 6th generation of some notoriously evil family, except he's so incompetent that every time he tries to do evil, he ends up doing good instead.
Right.
And that's the reason he's now a hero adventurer, because he just sucks so badly at doing terrible things.
Nice.
Oh, I mean, It's kind of the opposite from your usual stick.
I got to switch things up every once in a while.
So from our friend Kyle, he wants to know, how would your current characters, so how would the Dicey Bastards interact with previous characters you're playing? For example, Stan and Brandon, Moog and Silas, Claudia, Scarecrow Claudia, that's hard to say, and the original Lady of Layers. So how would your current characters react to previous characters you've played?
I think Brandon's generally a pretty easy guy to get on with, providing, you have the patience to listen to him talk about himself, which I think, Stan is also kind of like that. They'd just be getting along really well, just talking and not listening to each other, which is, most people, really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Moog would care about Silas because Silas is not an elf.
Mm-hmm.
But Silas would, of course, do his damnedest to convert Moog, which would eventually piss Moog off.
Okay.
Yeah, what Silas is eventually going to piss somebody off. I don't care if you rolled up Gandhi. Eventually, Silas is going to piss him off.
Now, peace is the way. Oh, just kill this motherfucker. Just got. He's like, this guy's a bitch. I'm done. How would Kabir and a Metallica Zam get along?
Oh, I'd say like a horse and a robot.
Yeah.
Walk into that one.
What you will. That old saying, getting along like a horse and a robot.
It's as old. That is an expression as old as
I'm
the
honestly
hills, yeah.
going to start using that now.
Yeah, that's a saying now.
I think they'd probably get along fine. Kabir is danger averse enough to take one look at Metallicazam and probably horse run the other fucking way. So
nature is cruel, but robots are crueler.
yeah, nature is cruel. I don't know what the fuck that thing is.
See, I would like to see the situation where, like, for old X-Men fans who understand who Douglock is, when like Cypher and Warlock would fuse into one character, I would love to see Kabir and Metallicazam become like this anime style, like centaur horse thing. So yeah.
Oh, I can 1,000% already tell you what that looks like. If anybody played Overwatch, Bastion,
Yes.
the turret robot mixed with Arizo, the one that's like a horse bottom. So just put a giant turret on a horse body, spinning around, firing.
I kind of want to
constantly.
see that. In fact, I might just steal it for this game because that's just too cool.
That is pretty cool. We've just sold some action figures right there.
Yeah, 100%.
Goddamn
That's
t-shirt at
the
least.
toy of Christmas.
And how would we
Metallica
speculate,
Bear.
since he's not here, because like you stab your true friends in the front, how would Jorcerer and goddamn it,
Klaus.
Klaus, thank you. It's
Yeah.
escaping me. How do you think they would get along?
Ugh.
Very stickily.
Yeah. I assume Klaus would rob everything off of Jorcerer, who is generally unaware.
Mhm.
Yep.
He's not
That
the most
feels the
aware,
truest
yeah.
to everybody. And then I feel like Jorcerer would rejoice at his own nudity. Does that capture both pretty well?
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah.
glad to be robbed. He's like, he's not even angry that he's like robless. Now he's just embracing born freeness.
I'm not
So, yeah.
sure.
Like Hook is
Because-
out. There we go.
Because Klaus only realized he was like a rogue in pretty much the last game.
Yeah, it just happened to be like we'd spent 3 episodes without going to a bar.
Yeah, all the rest of the time it was like, okay, you're up in initiative. What do? I start jacking off.
Yeah, I think Jorcerer has this weird purity, like a naivete that they kind of like orbit each other in weird, separate circles, orbits.
Right.
The 2 sides of the same horrible coin.
Just Bevan.
Well, they're 2 balls dangling from the same dick, so
It's a coin at the bottom of a urinal trough.
They're both on the same watch list.
Both got the same caseworker. That's how
I
they do.
honestly don't know if they would be on the same watch list.
Different watch lists.
Like really thinking about it, it's like, oh. They're both banned from schools, but for different reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, our friend Condor wants to know, there's a lot of gimmick social activities like escape rooms and axe throwing out there. What's the next sort of social activity that we would like to see get popular?
Let's shoot more people into space, just like Katy Perry. Bye.
Yeah, I heard about that. She's part of an all-female like league to go into space or something.
Just not a social thing. You just invite your least popular friend. Yeah, we're all going out. We're doing an activity. What kind of activity? Shut up. See you at the activity. Space boy.
Bob's not here, so I'll throw out, bring back the communal jerking at a porno theater. Fred Willard did nothing wrong.
Or Pee Wee Herman.
Or yeah, they
Willard
jerked
too?
off at a porno theater. That's like pissing at a urinal, all right?
What is it for? What did he build this porno theater for? Huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Like, how
that
are
was
they the asshole in that situation?
that was answered by Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So
Yeah. Imagine going to the like council plan. It's like, I'm going to build exclusively a theatre for pornography. They'll be like, oh, for people to jerk off in, right? Oh, no, of course not.
No, certainly not. To appreciate the art form.
How dare you, sir?
You
How dare you?
filthy derelict.
what in my porno theater? This was for just a viewing of artistic nudity, not for your.
Yeah.
I notice you've put
Wanker
napkins
doodles.
in the cup holders now. Well, that's just because sometimes people like to cry while watching fine arts.
Here's a better question. Who was snitching at the porno theater? All right, fuck that person.
Oh my god, what a person you have to as well. Well, I've just come trying to. Now I'm depressed. Time to ruin everyone else's day.
This guy made
Unbelievable.
eye contact. No way. Not.
It's like, okay, there's a 4-way anal scene going on the screen, but this is where I draw the line.
It's a situation where it's like, what's the female, like, not to be pejorative, but like, what's the male Kevin? Or excuse me, Karen? Is that a Kevin? One of those guys. Like, I'm not, hey, Mr. Porno Theater. I don't mean to like, throw my weight around, but I am the HOA president around her, and that guy in this theater is whacking off, and I will not have it. So,
And what are they doing? Looking around, making eye contact.
Again, urinal rules are in play. Like eyes forward on your own business. I assume.
yes.
How dare that guy do what I was doing 2 minutes ago?
Or maybe it's a situation where it's like, I think in any kind of standard porno theater, you space yourself out. So that's like if you show up to the movies early in a real movie theater and you sit down right in the middle, then someone shows up and they sit like a space right next to you because they
Right
too went the
next to
very
you.
middle. They made it awkward. So what are the
There's
chances?
always that person who pisses in the urinal right next to you, even though the rest of the bathroom is
Yeah.
empty.
I mean, that's
So-
disconcerting when that happens in a regular theater. I imagine in a porno theater, it's like you cannot help but interpret that as some kind of threat, right? That's
Or invitation. Does he put his popcorn between the two of you? You want to share?
Or was it the guy with the mop?
All right. We've lost a lot of time on Bob's suggestion. Thanks, Bob.
I don't know. I'm liking this where this is going.
I'm in a porno theater. Do you really think I'm going to fall for the popcorn trick? This is not my first rodeo, sir.
Hey, neighbor, would you like a bite of my big sausage pizza?
What if they had a high-end porno theater, like one of those, what's the brew houses that'll bring you food if you hit a little button, like
like
The draft
Alamo.
house. Yeah.
like an Alamo
Yeah.
draft house, yeah. So like you're watching your thing of choice and be like, I would like some pizza poppers right now. So
You could not pay me enough to walk through those aisles.
An Alamo ass house. That's what we need.
This is not as bad as after the Taylor Swift showing.
Oh.
Hey,
Man.
I didn't order my nachos with the extra salty sauce on it. Well, that's what you get for sitting up front.
Sir,
Picked a
read the
middle seat,
sign.
motherfucker. You knew what you were doing.
Nobody
to
gets
block with
anything without the
something.
salty sauce.
what if there's like one of those 4D things? So it's like you're sitting in a splash zone, so they spray you. So yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
that's patreon.com/authors.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone else have any other besides jerking off in a theater?
you
Any
would
other?
like to be
I have an
included in it.
actual one I could throw out. When I was in high school, there was a coffee shop that had like a TV or a couple of TVs with like an N64 setup with like Mario Kart and Smash Brothers, kind of running at all times, and it was a hangout for a bunch of us. And that just seems like a rad idea for like a coffee shop or a bar, as a place where there's just casual co-op games where you can go with friends and hang out and like
Yeah.
do some Mario Kart while you drink a Starbucks.
Right.
I'd be fucking down for that.
There's a place in Frederick, Maryland, near like town over from where I live, and they have something like that. It's kind of a retro arcade, but it's also they got food and snacks, so it's kind of like an actual like Good Dave and Buster's, but like in a way that's like fun. So
Like
they
a
have,
barcade, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically like a barcade. So I like to see like more of those become like less niche and more popular because like again, they would. What the fun part was, me and my son and my friend and took his boys. We all went to there and we had a great time. But like they're sitting there like, what is this game? What is this Street Fighter game? And these boys are playing. I'm like, I don't know. And I sat down next to him like, and the one kid like, I don't know who this Chung Li is, but I can just do these kicks all day long and beat any of you. I'm like, oh well, let me try playing you, son. Like I'm crushing with M Bison or like
Yeah.
Ryu. Like, oh, is that a Dragon Punch? Like. It was fun to crush, these tweens. And
There's a place here in New Jersey called Yestercades where you go in, you pay by the hour and can play as many games as you want. And yeah, it's
cool.
retro game. It's retro like arcade games, but they also have retro consoles there and big screen TVs.
Oh, yeah, that's what I think. A good way to say it is I do want like the coffee equivalent of a barcade, but like with some of that retro, more laid back aesthetic.
Yeah, and these places didn't cost any money. You just pay to go in there and play. Like everything.
Yeah,
is
you're
just
paying
free.
for the products.
Yes.
Yeah, we got a cidercade in Dallas that, by the way, if anybody's local around, it's run by Bishop Arts, who do like really good fucking ciders. Very, very good spot to check out.
I do have one more suggestion, and it's more geared toward introverts, and it's a hangout where you get together in your jammies and you just read a book and you eat snacks.
Is
That's
it hang
your
out
living
by
room.
yourself?
That's
No,
your living room, right?
with people. Yeah.
I don't know if that's very. I'd feel quite vulnerable in that situation.
Exactly. I feel like that's going to turn to
introverted me.
spooning very soon.
Yeah, it's like-
I was going to say, I think I'd rather serve snacks at the porno theater there.
Yeah, it's like,
It's a very fun idea. The unfortunate counterpoint I feel compelled to make is perverts.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy I was talking about who's just basically wearing a cat suit.
Right.
He's gonna be drawn to that like a fly to shit.
It's
Emily.
like there's a certain vulnerability laying around in my pajamas that like, you know, like at least I'm like, I feel like at least I'm wearing jeans or an equivalent thereof. Everything's locked away behind thicker denim. Now it feels like I'm asking, you know, I don't like that.
All right, and also, I'm a 43-year-old man. If I feel like I've crashed a slumber party, somebody needs to arrest me. I don't care what the context is.
And there's always going to be that one sweaty guy who shows up who's like, "What? I sleep in the nude."
Oh, no.
Again, Rick, I
You're
already
all
covered
cozy.
perverts.
Here I am thinking about flannel. You guys are.
Well, it's like any other idea. It's like here, I'm sure the people who came up with the internet, but they're trying to exchange the old DARPA net and the old medical net. They're like, we can exchange ideas. And one guy's like, we can also look at titties. But they'll find a way to ruin any good idea. So
I think a lot of us also just have a history of customer service, so we were just like, all right, how are they gonna fuck this up?
yeah.
Also, you know, you can't. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, Emily, but you can't beat guys on perving shit up. Every woman thinks like, oh, how could he possibly find this attractive? My makeup's smudged. I'm wearing my ratty pajamas. But that is like most of the time. That is what dudes are like. Oh man, I've hit the jackpot. Look at this mess. Nice.
Look at this mess.
See, that's what I've always said. Every first date should be like a standard first date. You go out your first date, you dress up, you're nice, you smell nice, you look nice, hair all done nice. And then you immediately after the day's over, you come the next morning and meet at 9:00 for breakfast. The only thing you're allowed to do is go to the bathroom. You can't brush your teeth. You come in your pajamas. So this, you see me my best, you see me my worst. Life is going to be somewhere in that middle.
Yeah, you gotta wait for like third or fourth date. It's like, okay, we're not leaving the house. I ain't gonna smell too good. And you know, my pajamas, they're probably like 10 years old. There's gonna be holes where
and they've been washed
holes.
twice. Yeah.
And this is gonna be great. Too intimate, Emily. It's too intimate. It's no, not for introverts.
Well, I'm not sure if this is a direct question for the group. It did show up as a question. I'm just going to ask anyway from our friend Zach. Can we just show up to Rick's house if we have an issue?
No.
Wait a minute,
Well,
Rick.
Yeah, but that's
It's
Rick's
really
answer
for
about the rest
group,
of us.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's to the group, you know.
You're not the only guy in this group.
Exactly.
They're not going to fly to England.
Like
Be
this might have
reasonable.
been a situation where we're asking about the Patreon or the Spotify or something like that. But you know what? Can we just show to Rick's house if we have an issue? You know what? I'm going to say, yeah, go for it. You know,
Bonus points if you turn up in your pajamas.
It is
After a porno
important to
theater.
note that Rick does canonically live at Dinosaur Land, though.
Yeah, it's true. And those things do come to life once the sun goes down. So
I
If
would
you're
show
lucky,
up.
they wait until the sun goes down. Those sons of bitches do not run on time.
I would show up to Dinosaur Land in my jammies. That actually sounds like kind of a fun trip.
I can't imagine anybody shows up to Dinosaur Land fully dressed.
At some point, I feel like we do need to put together a Kickstart, figure out a way to do a group trip to Dinosaur Land.
Well,
and
now I'm
record it as
thinking
content.
that needs to be a social activity, like like after dark. Instead of escape room, escape from Dinosaur Land.
Escape from Dinosaur Land.
see,
All
I've
right,
been
we'll
wanting
do that.
like I've had this idea. Like I would love for an A&D convention instead of at a hotel, but like instead we rent one of those like cheap like 4-H camps for like the weekend, and everybody just comes in and goes like group camping. You know, you can still ship a bookstore like that. It's like communal eating and everything like that. But like that's what I want to see. And of course, someone's gonna get too drunk and wander into the woods, and God only knows what's gonna happen. And Bevan's gonna be put on a leash, or what are those little like those little tether poles? You got to put like a harness on Bevan, and he can go from one post to the other when he's been drinking. So
Well, I mean, the good is that they don't have escalators to fall down in the woods. The
True.
bad is that they tend to have
Fine.
cliffs.
they have cliffs, they have
It's
hills.
nature's escalator.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. You've convinced us, chat. We'll go fund me a A&D trip to Dinosaur Land. I cannot guarantee that you will not be eaten by weird dinosaurs, but we can guarantee that Rick will do a 45-minute technical support session for your benefit.
I tell you what, I feel like if we do the trip to Dinosaur Land, we can collectively write a book called A&D Escape from Dinosaur Land, in which we canonize ourselves as characters and get into shenanigans up there. There we go. That'll add something to it.
Nice.
Final
100%.
boss is that meth mammoth.
That's mammoth.
Movie version by Steve Radzinski.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Our next question that actually from Zach comes, if you come home and found your house full of seagulls, how many would it take for you to start being suspicious that someone had put them there? And who would you be suspicious of?
One.
Yeah, what? I don't live near the sea.
Right. Like,
If there's a seagull in my house, shit has already gotten fucked.
this is a planted seagull, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I do live nearby the sea, and I'd be suspicious with one as well because I have a
Mm.
crazy dog now. So
Yeah,
Even that, I mean, like, if it's a case of the seagull has wandered in because I have left the door open for some reason, then I am the idiot who's put a seagull in my house, and I have every right to be suspicious of myself. So-
I have a follow-up for Emily with the context of the dog now. How many live seagulls do you know that you would have to find? Like, because if you live by the sea and you have a crazy dog, I feel like finding a dead seagull, not that big of a shocker.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So how many live seagulls would you have to find?
Oh Lord.
Or I guess
Um,
how many dead and how many live seagulls? Let's get how many dead seagull corpses? You're like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like 3 dead, 1 live.
I grew up at the Jersey Shore, and I have never heard of any seagulls getting into anybody's houses. You know, I don't think they really do that. You know,
If you
under
put
normal circumstances.
if you put French fries by an open
Right.
window, I guarantee there's
Yeah,
some
yeah.
Well,
seagulls
yes,
coming
then
in.
you are asking for it. But
Yeah.
Oh, I
Either way,
lived
somebody
by
is-
the ocean for a while. Seagulls will get into whatever the fuck they want.
Even in that case, somebody has deliberately coerced that seagull into the living space. So there's every reason to be suspicious. So I'm going to say, yeah, one seagull means that shenanigans are afoot. This is not a naturally occurring seagull incident.
I'm willing to, because I granted where I live, I'm fairly inland, and I live in a kind of rural, hilly, not mountainous, but like way more like rusticy kind of location. So yeah, one seagull would raise questions, but I would be willing to go, maybe this guy's off course. But then after 2 seagulls, and then 3 or more, now it's all beginning of a horror movie.
well, here's the thing. There's also the question of how you left your house. You know, was there a
Right.
window open? Okay, you know, seagulls getting in accidentally.
Sure.
It's the middle of winter. All my windows are
I've
shut.
got a dog
Everything's
door.
closed down, and I walk
I've
in
got
and
a
there's
dog
seagulls.
door. Like maybe it flew in and just saw the thing and plop right through the dog door. Maybe it came in that way. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like if I leave my house and like, oh man, I left all my windows open and my antique French fry collection scattered all over my floor. Now, who put these seagulls in here? Then, you know,
I will
it's a
actually
mystery
say,
that solves itself.
I think counterintuitively, the more seagulls there are, the less likely I am to think that someone planted them. Because every additional seagull represents the likelihood of having to wrangle that many seagulls continuously into one situation. So, you know, if I go in and there's like 40 seagulls in my house, there's no way I think someone managed 40 fucking seagulls.
Yeah, man, this is kind of like the Mafia Horsehead situation all over again.
God,
It's like-
I so want that movie. Just
Yeah, I
a
don't know.
waiting for Godot of them doing the horse head.
You imagine the boss was like, okay, I need you to decapitate a horse, which is already pretty challenging. I need you to put it in someone's bed, and they need to wake up without realizing you've done it. Okay. It's like, okay, now I want you to do that 6 times in the same bed for 6 different horses. If you woke up to 6 horse heads, I think you'd be, I don't know, I think you'd be less suspicious of the various activity.
You're like,
You'd have to say,
"Oh,"
it's like, well, there's no fucking way anyone engineered this.
versus, oh, not this again.
What the hell was I drinking last night?
It's like, clearly there's some sort of aeroplane overhead that was carrying, I don't know, a load of horse heads. It's feasible.
Yeah, I guess a bunch of horses that had a horrible accident on the way down. A bunch of horse heads? For some
Yeah.
reason.
I mean, there's no way a human managed this. It's impossible.
Like, did my snoring somehow summon demons or something?
Am I a horse?
My horse. Oh, he was much better looking last night.
There was a question asking me specifically what if when the next DM takes over, what would I play? And I'm like, I honestly have no idea. I have to wait to see what the DM wants because I used to have like 1,001 concepts of playing D&D, and I don't have anything currently because it's like I just want to fit in for the group because I love how other people come with these great ideas. I want to be a sniper. I want to do this. When I make a character, I kind of like want to go in tabula rasa and let the game determine how they're going to evolve. So it's a boring answer. I don't have a good one. So sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, for my friend Kyle, if your current game characters found themselves in the modern world, so reverse isekai, like portal opens up and Kabir the Expedient and Stan Dandy Liver and Moo and Claudia all end up in, like downtown Charlotte. What are they going to do?
I can't imagine Stan would do anything different from what he's currently doing. He'd be like, oh shit, guns are a thing, but I think he could adapt to that because he already lives in a world where people have godlike powers. If anything, everyone having a gun is kind of a step down. It's more manageable.
What do you mean I am armed? Go away. Like no, constable. So.
Yeah, you just carry on defrauding officials and being charming.
Now, what would Stan Dandy be like? Eventually, he has to get a job. He's like working at a Kinko's.
No, he's just got to be a professional, charming con man. I mean, those people exist. It's a viable career path.
Yeah, but they also have like I understand of technology. What is this cellular telephone?
You're like, a tenured professor then.
That's the thing. He'd still be pulling shticks where he's going to debutante balls and pretending he's an aristocrat from a far off land. Everybody else is like, they're thinking, oh man, I don't want some Indian guy locked in a basement to steal my account details. They ain't going to see Stan coming. He's like refreshingly old school. They won't be prepared for it at all.
Also, why does he got pointy ears? Is he LARPing? Who's this guy? So
I could actually see Stan Dandy Liver blowing up on TikTok.
That you know what? Yeah. Shit Stan says on the old Twitters. Yeah.
The Dandy Liver Doos. Do buy from Blue Apron.
Stan loves his Casper mattress.
I would love to see Claudia as a school resource officer.
Oh man, you're about to get a lot more budget with a lot less resource.
Oh, I tell you. School board doesn't know what's going to hit them. Literally. Very literally.
The kids love me.
But they fear and respect me most of all.
Right.
Well, the amount of children, like Claudia, that's like the 9th kid you've whacked this week.
Yeah.
We can't keep sweeping this under a rug.
We figure out, it's like,
how well behaved are the rest of them?
turns out we've actually solved the education system. All we needed is somebody to come in and one-shot the worst kid.
And skin his face and wear it for like the next semester.
She wears the skin of the last kid she killed as a pelt.
What happened to little Johnny? He's homeschooled now.
Oh my god. A movie version of The Substitute with Claudia.
I like to think Claudia, because she's also a rogue, just shows up at little Johnny's house. You didn't think you were going to escape me, did you? Homeschool, huh? You think locks are going to stop me?
It's like he shows little Johnny like going out to take out the garbage, and then just the light cuts out, and the next morning Claudia walks in wearing a new pelt. So some of you heard Jonathan speak back to me.
She pulls up his head, and this is what he does.
All the kids crying. They don't want to go. They don't want to go into Miss Claudia's room because she keeps putting the scary bear face on.
Yeah. Oh, God help you if you fuck up during a spelling bee. She has a crossbow out, like autodidactic, and go. Like, oh, God damn it.
I think if Kabir was suddenly teleported to a whole new world of humans, he would probably turn into a bird and fuck off for a little while while figuring out what the shit had just gone down. But in a more long-term, sustained capacity, I am going to say that he would help horses unionize. And I know you're thinking, like, how are horses going to unionize? They don't have any power. You've never seen a horse kick.
Yeah, and I hear they've got horsepower.
Yeah, what?
Oh.
Nicely done. Basically, once animals understand that they can kill us, I think they'll have a lot more negotiating power.
Mm.
And Kabir does too.
And thus, the horse version of the Planet of the Apes begins.
It's an inverse Godfather. It's a cattle rancher who wakes up and his best ranch hand's head is in his bed. And there's two horses plodding along.
I just figured out a Planet of the Horse movie, like there would be the mist on the Brooklyn Bridge. You hear the clop of hooves, and it's a horse riding another horse. And that's how you know the horses have become civilized. I don't know.
I can just see this playing in the porno theater. I thought this was Planet of the Whores.
There's one guy in the back.
man.
No, I'm glad it's the horse.
I'm still jacking off. Leave me alone.
No, the horses are lashed together back to back, so they're just in a constant cycle of running. One hitting the ground, the other in the air, the next hitting the ground.
You the wheel of horses. Oh shit.
They figured out perpetual motion. We're fucked. We're fucked.
Here comes they speak it of in whispers. The carousel.
Something wicked this way comes indeed, motherfucker.
Nice literary reference, Drew. Fuck yeah, we bring the class.
I'm here to elevate this shit a little bit.
Nice. Porno
Queen
theaters
Crush
to
wants
right
to know. St.
Well,
Patrick's
hold on.
Day is... Oh, I'm trying to fuck me.
Whoa,
All right.
whoa. We weren't finished talking about the Horsepocalypse.
Well, we haven't heard what Moog's gonna do in a world without elves. I mean, other
That
than
is true.
rejoice.
That's a good
Exactly,
point.
you
Good
know.
point.
Well, Moog would be impressed at a world that not only has managed to exterminate elves, but it's somehow managed to convince the history books that elves never existed to begin with.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we do that for people, man.
I feel like Moog would have a very good run right up until he got arrested inside of a Ren fair, and you know exactly what for.
Oh shit.
Well, see, even before
This
that,
goes
he's
so
like,
well.
I can seem to say, oh, look, no, there's no elves. That's fantastic. Hey, look. And someone walking up, hey, look, an elf, a frickin' elf boy. And first murder, police come for him. Like, all I see is like the little stars on the Grand Theft Auto meter going up very quickly within minutes of him showing up. Because
Just
someone's going to go
Moog.
look, an elf.
He's fine until he sees his first K-pop twink, and he's like, "All right, time to get them back."
Santa has what at the North Pole?
Who's
And
this
that's how
fucking Santa?
Moog dies like The Shining.
All right, so Queen Crush says St. Patrick's Day is coming. If you caught a leprechaun, what would you wish for? Selfish answers only. None of this world peace bullshit.
Well, only selfish.
Can we have a magical power or just an item or something?
Yeah.
You
My
know what?
honest answer is infinite power.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Itty bitty living space.
yeah. If you're gonna go for the gold. The powers of Superman. If I'm gonna contain it a little bit.
Mm.
See, I don't know if I'd want that because that every time I think about, because I love superheroes, when you start applying real world physics to that, like it starts to scare you. Like if he's
Yeah, you
invulnerable.
assume you get the caveats. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, those caveats are like, they're always like so conditional because it's a comic book and it's a property. But like, let's say I hit you with a baseball bat, you don't feel anything. But if I just touch your arm, do you feel that? Like, you're never going to have a sensation. It takes a baseball bat to feel. I have to beat your balls with a bat for you to feel that. You know what I mean?
that's why I specified of Superman. Superman and Clark Kent are not known to have any numbing as part of their condition. Thank you very much.
True.
Well, this is an evil leprechaun. Have you ever met a good leprechaun? They
There
don't
we go.
exist.
See, now it's evil. That's
Whoa,
the
whoa,
thing.
whoa,
Is
whoa.
like,
There's no such thing
now
as a
we're-
good one.
They make one movie series about an evil leprechaun. Unbelievable.
generally speaking, in Leprechaun lore, you've stolen the Leprechaun's gold. You don't get the feeling it's a happy wish situation.
Right. I mean, I've seen Darby O'Gill, like it's not,
I got that reference, Gibby.
Thank you. Yeah, I do love Darby O'Gill. So.
Yeah, any leprechauns listening to this podcast, they know which of us are racist now.
Yeah. Don't worry, I don't like you because you're ugly. Not because
All right, let's say the Leprechaun can only grant material, non-magical goods to shrink it down a little bit.
Oh, you say that now you've got your Superman power.
You're Superman. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I don't want any of the rest of
okay,
you
you know,
to
I
fucking
want
threaten my
kryptonite.
power. I
I asked for kryptonite.
non-magical.
Fuck that guy.
Hey kids, I got a magical Land Rover
Yeah.
Okay, well, great. What did Drew get? Never mind what Drew got. Just get in the Land Rover.
I'm just a big hunk of kryptonite. Thank you. I'll be fine. Thank
I would like the power to kill Elon Musk's leprechaun. 'Cause clearly he had one.
You can't send a leprechaun to kill another leprechaun, can you?
Oh no, you have to send a leprechaun to kill another leprechaun.
Oh, right. Is that how the saying
Yeah.
goes?
It's
All
the
right,
it's
okay,
the
we'll go
Demolition
back.
Man principle.
Yeah.
I mean, along that lines, might as well just like make yourself rich by being like, okay, I wish to be the producer of the new hit show Leprechaun Death Fight match.
Yeah, Drew, you have absolutely solved the botched attempt at relaunching the Leprechaun franchise there. If the next Leprechaun movie is classic Leprechaun being sent to kill new Leprechaun, I'm watching that movie, obviously.
Oh my god, I'm there the opening night and every night that
Yes.
follows.
But who are we sending to kill Warwick Davis? Who's that now the new,
No
Because
one. Fucking
What's that?
national treasure.
what's that?
No one's a goddamn national treasure.
But but you're sending the new one to kill the old one. The old one was Warwick Davis, the evil one. Who's the good
No,
one?
new
we're
one-
sending
the new one
Warwick
is Jason.
Davis to kill the new one.
Oh,
This is where it gets up. Like,
Yeah.
in the movie, it'll be kind of like, oh, we fucked up that wish. He's actually gone to kill beloved actor Warwick Davis.
Not again.
Is-
Not again.
is this a situation where we get the Game of Thrones guy, the Tyrion Lannister? I forget the actor. Peter Dinklage. Does Peter Dinklage have to fight
Yeah,
Warwick
because
Davis?
the leprechaun is stupid and racist against little people. He gets Peter Dinklage involved, who has to go full Bruce Campbell.
we
I
do
think
know
we
the
can finish
leprechaun
this
has a
movie, right?
weakness for good weed, so that's why.
Yes, let's not forget that.
Yeah, but he can also come through your TV as a sex robot in what's supposed to be Vegas.
This is ironic because my wish for the leprechaun would be like, give me the premise and breakdown for a really good leprechaun movie, and that's kind of what we have.
2 words: Jason Statham. Whether he is the leprechaun or he's fighting the leprechauns.
Oh no,
Why is this?
just replace everything in the Meg with a leprechaun. My God, it's a leprechaun. Just
I'm the leprechaun.
you think you can stop me, you leprechaun? That's good. I like that. Yes.
Here's a question: if you wish for a pot of gold from a leprechaun, does that just cause a feedback loop error?
It just crashes. Just crashes the entire fucking system.
The leprechaun explodes.
Rainbows cease to exist. There's just like that grey-yellow missing element pattern in the sky where rainbows used to be.
It's like giving a robot a logic problem. It just breaks down.
They'll say, fuck gold these days. Give me a pot of rare earth metals.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Give me your mineral rights, leprechaun.
Yeah, I want the mineral rights of Tir na Nog, like right now. So,
You know what, leprechaun? I want to own rainbows. All of them. They're mine.
Sorry, gays. But you need to
dude,
pay up.
it feels like so evil at that point. There's the capitalist, the guy that owns a rainbow and leases it back to the LGBT community.
You guys are pretty invested in this now. Well, that's a pity because it's a subscription model.
We at Rainbow
God.
Corps now own this.
Subscription. Damn, Steve.
Rainbow Wink. No one's saying you can't be gay, but if you want to wear that on your t-shirt, I'm afraid I'm going to pay the man.
The good news is we have tiered pricing at Rainbow Plus.
And also, as it's Pride Month, it's 10% off.
Of the 20% premium.
I mean, I would rather like what was the I forget what was it, the old there was some show, probably like books that were never written kind of thing. So I would like the stories that like Christmas Carol, but he didn't learn his lesson, got even more evil. Like he oppressed more people. I would like to see how these other stories went if they went a different direction. That's one with a library of just that stuff. So
I've got good news for you, Gibby. You're a writer.
yeah, but that's work. As you pointed out many occasions, Steve, you're a great writer. Where it's like, hey, you should write these ideas. Like, oh, I'm lazy. Like that's work.
Yeah,
I've got my own shit to do.
I'd rather beat up a leprechaun.
He just hands me an AI machine. Like, here you go. Just ask questions. Like, God damn it, he's right.
Oh. I was saying, you ever had an idea for a story that's absolutely too stupid to do, but also too good to completely throw away. And so
Yes.
you've got to make a fictional thing in one of your worlds.
Yeah.
So mine is the mom from Bewitched gets hit by a truck and sent into another world where she has to use her witch powers to try and find her way home. I call it Endora the Explorer.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
That's a deep cut joke for everybody who knows the name of the mom from Bewitched off the top of
I do like that.
There's like one listener now just going, yes, that feels good.
That might have been me.
That's my favorite kind of joke where it's like, all right, that one feels like that was just for me.
All right, so
All
our
right,
friend
go ahead,
Kyle
Gibby.
wants to know, what 3 things would you buy together at a supermarket to make the cashier raise an eyebrow?
Oh,
What 3 things would you intentionally buy just to see if you get a reaction out of the cashier?
children. All of them children.
Oh, God.
What aisle are they on?
Well,
Whatever aisle I
most
find them
aisles.
on, Gibby.
Just put a barcode on and just scan around across the thing. So,
Oh, look, unsupervised child on aisle 3 yet again. Just putting a barcode on that fucker. It's mine now. I'm only doing this to raise the. I'm going to let him go.
yeah,
Jesus
right.
Christ.
Now, my answer is going to sound a little far fetched, but reminder, I do live in Texas.
Okay.
So, a gun,
A gun?
a
Liquor?
single bullet, and a cassette tape of If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your Hands.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because it's got to be like a cassette tape.
Yeah. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm really angling for that eyebrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say condoms, rope, and a case of cat food.
Oh, my God.
Those are things you might feasibly buy. It's not... Well, yeah, it's quite nefarious, I suppose.
Huh. I mean, like, yeah, there's no way, like, anything I'm running here would just put me on a watch list. So I'm just going to step back from that one for a quick second. So, huh.
I got one. A jar of pickles, a jar of cucumbers, a blender.
Ugh. I'd raise an eyebrow. Yeah.
Yeah. The longer you look at it, the weirder it gets.
Yeah. That's some good dead air right there. So moving on.
No,
Well,
yeah,
that's what
no,
the editing is for.
No, if I'm editing this, I'm leaving that in. I think that's a nice retrospective dead air.
All the things
next-
we couldn't say.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like binoculars, lube, and a Boys Life magazine. You know,
Oh,
this is-
God.
Yeah.
Gibby's now on that list he didn't want to be on.
There it is. I was going to say the
Yeah.
Hollywood stars, you know, like, I don't know, anyway.
Welcome to
Our
the
friend
list.
Zach wants to know this one. Actually, I chuckle on this one because if you had your own signal that would summon you, like if you had your own bat signal, what's the emblem that's going to bring you running? What do they shine in the sky to say? We want Emily, we need Drew, we need Steve, etc.
Oh, mine would just be it'd just be a silhouette of me like Alfred Hitchcock. Except it would have an erection.
Oh, my
Seems
God.
like that's what Jorser would do. Same thing. Just
Yeah.
I don't know. I think mine will be like a dumpling or a panda bear or something like that.
How do you look? It's just like a 2D silhouette. It's like, is that a dumpling? It's like, what the fuck is that?
what's the silhouette of a dumpling? It's like, is that?
Well,
is that an
I
alien
would know.
blob?
A
Quick, the
dumpling
dumpling
has a
symbol.
pretty pronounced silhouette.
It's like, oh, Emily showed up. I see how you might got confused, but we were actually signaling a testicle checker, man.
That looks like a pillow. That's like the sleeper, you know, like the narcoleptic, you know.
I'll go with a pair of sunglasses. That feels pretty true to
Okay.
my vibe.
That's cool.
Okay.
I don't think anything's getting me running because I don't have $1 billion. I don't have a Batman outfit. And I'm not spending my nights looking out the window, wondering, gee, is the Rick signal flashing? No.
Okay,
I'm
so I think
I'm
what
watching
Rick's
fucking
signal
TV.
is going to be is a big sail sign.
Exactly. I mean,
Sail, arrow pointing down.
It just said, Rick Waltari, we really need you. Rick just looks at us when they're going to fuck you.
Oh, free money.
yeah. Well, I was saying,
And also, they're coming to my house anyway with their issues. So I don't care.
Young
Nice.
or old, I would just say just put it just silhouette of just the titties. Just give me a set of titties and I'll show up. I mean, I might not
Yeah,
do
but-
anything, but I'm at least gonna come and look. So
A lot of other people is going to show up to that.
exactly, that's why I'll hide amongst the crowd. That's how you never know I'm there. So
It's just like Commissioner Gordon is like,
Yeah.
what we really need is 600 perverts.
Incel man, we need you.
We need 600 lonely perverts. The kind of people who will scale a strange building's roof because of the promise of tits.
Is that
Do you
not
think we'll
the
get that
premise from
many?
Creature Commandos? Spoilers.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but I
That-
I did enjoy.
That's episode 1.
I enjoyed Creature Commandos.
Oh yeah, that was really
Mostly.
fun. But that is pretty
Mostly.
much the premise of one of the armies from Creature Commandos.
Yeah,
Wonderful. Oh, once more bean to the punch. I still have my Leprechaun v. Leprechaun movie idea. They can't take that away from me.
I don't know. Have you Googled what's in development?
Oh, no. I need a win church.
all right. Next one from our friend Zach. What is a super specific topic that you are the only person in existence who seems to care about?
Me?
Oh, yeah,
Aw.
me and my happiness.
You know what? I'm going to blend this with our other question. Quasi Evil asks, "What's your favorite random fact to share when you're drunk?" So I think this might be you can combine these two questions together. You've had a few beers, and you know, what's the one factoid that, for whatever reason, you just always bring up whenever you can?
Oh, my favorite ghost story. Sometimes you'll be talking to people, you'll be on a date, and you'll be like 8 beers deep, and like you'll start talking about the universe and all the mysteries. And I always like cut that off because I don't like to get too metaphysical about things with my favorite ghost story, which is not really a ghost story at all. Basically, there's a part of your body that, there's a part of your brain that knows where your body is at all times. So when you have out-of-body experiences, it's kind of, this thing's just sort of fucking up. It's the same as sleep paralysis. But apparently, there was an experiment to see if they could stimulate this part of the brain and artificially create that. And they could. And they got this guy, and he was in a room. They stimulated this part of the brain, made him really feel like there was a figure in the room with him, standing behind him. And they're like, okay, well, this is working then. And they said something like, well, could you turn around and describe the figure? And he said, no, it won't let me. And I'm like, that is my favorite ghost story because it's fucking terrifying, but it's not a ghost story.
Mind you, if I'm Steve's date, I'm like, I was going to give you a blowjob. Now I'm just going home because you depressed me.
Hey, man, I put all my cards up front on dates.
Yeah. Also, some people are into ghost stories, man. It's a gambit.
Oh no, their entire body. I mean, you might have actually gotten laid off of that one. So yeah.
Well, I'm a gentleman.
I mean, Rick's not going to blow you, but
Oh, all I can say is it did not work on Rick.
I tend to vacillate between like whatever thing I have most recently consumed is the fact that I will continually keep spreading. Like I not long ago, actually I guess it was a while ago at this point, but did an audiobook called Last Action Heroes, which is all about the action movie stars and film market of the 80s and 90s. And it's full of all sorts of amazing, interesting, hilarious details, like the fact that Jean-Claude Van Damme got busted trying to break into Sylvester Stallone's house before he was famous because he thought they would just get along really well and wanted to go work out with him. But my favorite one that I think I was spreading for a while is the fact that Sylvester Stallone loved the idea of an Edgar Allan Poe biopic with himself as Poe and spent decades burning Hollywood capital trying to get it made. And
my God.
I am still furious that it doesn't exist because I feel like we as a society really got robbed of Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe.
What was that mob movie they gave him? They just gave him that. Like they gave him Oscar, right?
Oscar, yeah.
I mean,
I
that
love
was a roll
Oscar.
of
Whoa,
the
They
whoa,
gave
dice.
him
let's-
Rhinestone if you want to talk about some wild shit.
Let's not
Yeah,
talk shit
I-
about Oscar. That's one of the
I'm
ones.
not
that I
talking
got.
No,
shit about
Oscar's good.
Oscar. I'm saying
Yeah.
that's a roll of the dice. Like, let's put Sylvester Stallone in this kind of one act, one location theater comedy. Like, okay, but then give him his Poe thing, you fucks. You shallow fucks.
Yeah, but then they ended up giving like it was with John Cusack that Poe movie, where he played Poe instead. So I would look that, but you're saying that like part of me wants to see like I want to see like the Poe being like the basically merge Supernatural and Edgar Allan Poe together, whereas he's fighting the Lovecraftian things at the time in Baltimore. I would like to watch that movie. So
That's
Edgar
so
Allan
there's a
Poe.
play called Nevermore that I got to do in high school, and that's basically set in the last few days of Edgar Allan Poe's life, which he actually went missing for a little bit. I don't know if that's changed, but at the time, no one really knew what had happened. And that's basically what you're asking for, Gibby. It's Edgar Allan Poe fighting the devil.
Allow me to posit, Drew, that perhaps in those moments he was fighting the Leprechaun.
Edgar Allan Poe, played by Sylvester Stallone, versus Warwick Davis's Leprechaun. Man, I can't tell you how hard I'm in that fucking seat. Both me hitting the seat in enthusiasm and the firmness of my cock as I watch
That's an
that
erection.
movie.
There's some sort of
I want to be
erection there.
clear. I'm referring to both of them. Both meanings.
And I think with Drew's erection, that's going to bring a close to like this particular.
Oh, let's be fair, Gibby. It's going to bring a climax.
Well played, sir. So yeah, I think wrap us up there, sir. Or you wrap up your erection.
He just did wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right, then bye everybody.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for this Insert Steve voice explanation title that we all enjoyed answering your questions. We will see you next time we do one of these, whatever they are. Until next time, I have been Drew Hayes, joined by Emily Kaplan, Rick Gold, Terry, MK Gibson, and Steve Wetherall. We will see you next time. Bye.
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 Authors and Dragons is brought to you under a Creative Commons license, meaning you are free to share this material so long as credit is given to those who created it, which is us, the people you just heard play the game. Opening and closing themes performed by the Gore Core 4.
Authors and Dragons!